Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to Austin Sports Weekend with Austin himself sitting here. It is time for some more NFL football. Before we jump in, thanks again to SevereTV.com for hooking us up here in the studio. Thanks again for Autographs Plus with hooking us up with some cool helmets. Got a little A.J. Brown and a little Patrick Mahomes over here with us. But let's jump in. We have already finished 10 weeks. We need to recap Week 10. And then we'll do some predictions for Week 11. But first of all, we got to talk about your Panthers.
Stinking it up again.
Stinking it up. Thursday Night Football was the Panthers at the Bears. Bears won 16-13. I think we thought the Bears would probably win.
But that end of game management by Frank Reich is not going to help him save his job, according to sources.
No, Frank Reich in his first year with the Panthers is struggling a little bit, and ownership from rumors is not liking it.
And they might can him after the season if it gets worse.
He is if he doesn't try to get just at least a little bit better,
then he's out on the door.
Then he may be out. He head coached another team, didn't he?
The Colts. And last year the offense was bad.
Yeah, so And it's funny, he's an ex-quarterback, so you would think maybe he would know the offense is a little bit better, but they are struggling maybe a little bit more than they should. But their offensive line's bad.
Well, that's an understatement of the century.
That's
the offensive line is pretty much if you put 5 turnstiles in front of him.
Yeah.
I could probably hit the quarterback if you put me against them.
Yeah. And the wide receivers are less than immaculate. Adam Thielen is good, but he's aging Adam Thielen.
He's in his 30s.
So, and he's the best one they've got. So, they are lacking a little bit of talent.
And the only way we can draft a Marvin Harrison Jr. is if we trade another pool of assets.
That's probably not going to happen. They probably are not going to trade any more assets because they don't have any. I don't know if they have any to trade. They're probably just going to have to probably take their licks again next year.
And be awful again? I don't know how much more of this is going to take.
It is what it is. Let's jump up into our Sunday games. We had my Giants and Cowboys. We always talk about the Panthers and the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. My Cowboys beat up on the Giants. They should have beat up on the Giants. Honestly, I'm not impressed with them beating up on the Giants.
The Giants are they're like skid marks on the middle of a Texas road right now.
They took a step back this year, haven't they?
How about a giant leap for mankind, step backwards?
Step backwards, because I really thought after the end of last year that they would be moving ahead a little bit.
There is no way you can see this as moving ahead in any way.
I think maybe we thought they were a little more ahead in their development of what they were.
Last year was probably just them fighting above their weight class.
It must have been a fluke. Everybody was healthy, and they're having a lot of problems with health this year. Daniel Jones is out for the year.
Brian Dable is under a bunch of heat.
It is a bunch of heat. Saquon Barkley was healthy last year, and that looks like that's going to be an aberration. Like he's never going to be healthy again.
And Jalen Hyatt continues to not get the football.
And they can't get the football to their the best wide receiver coming out last year. So they're struggling a little bit, but the Cowboys did what the Cowboys were supposed to do. Now let's see if they can ever do that against a good team.
Well,
then maybe I'll be impressed.
Will tell.
Time will tell. We had the Frankfurt games, the Germany.
The last one.
Colts at Pats.
This was ugly.
Yeah, it was a 10-6 in the bottom of the ninth, I think was how it ended. That was a slow and boring game. 10-6. I really thought the Patriots might do something.
How about that Patriots offense late in the fourth quarter?
Mac Jones got benched, and now Mac Jones is what?
The third string quarterback.
They moved Mac Jones down to third string, man. That's a demotion, dude.
That is a tenure ending.
That is a probably on the trade block at the end of the season move, to be honest. And I really thought Mac Jones would be a perfect fit there. He was Brady-ish as far as his characteristics. He had good talent. He was poised.
I think the offense failed him.
I think the offense failed him, yeah. I really think so, too.
Bill O'Brien's offense is worse than...
Bill O'Brien's terrible. He shouldn't be in football. I don't think he should be coaching anywhere. I mean, take him back down. Maybe high school. He could go back down to high school, but I don't think the man should be in the pros at this point. He's destroyed everything he's touched. Every team he's touched.
Did you see that underthrow at the goal line, though?
Yeah, the pickoff when they had a chance to win.
That fake spike at the end with the second string quarterback. Yeah, oh, my goodness.
That was pretty good. Now, this is my surprise of the week. I don't know if it's a surprise, but the Texans 1 week are David, and the next week they're Goliath. They either kill you or they get killed. And this week they beat the Bengals. I really didn't think that they would beat the Bengals.
They benefited off of some Bengal turnovers.
Yeah, there were some turnovers that they shouldn't have had. A little aberration. I don't know if they tried too hard. I think sometimes people are looking over the Texans, thinking, "Well, it's the Texans. They're a young team. You know, they won a good game 2 weeks ago, but and then all of a sudden they throw for 457 yards on you or something. It's
guess who leads the game-winning drive?
That would be Mr. CJ.
Super CJ.
Super CJ. He is surprising me. We have never seen a rookie quarterback play like he's played now. So I mean, he's doing really good. Again, I'm not going to crown him king yet because he's a rookie quarterback, and there's only 10 games of film on him so far. People don't know exactly how to stop him because I don't think he knows exactly what he is yet. He's still developing. As he develops his patterns and gets his patterns and his tendencies made, defenses might settle in a little bit more and figure out how to slow him down. But right now, there's not a whole lot of people slowing him down. The only thing that's slowing him down right now is himself.
The main thing I got is that the coordinator, the OC, Bobby Slowick, is really helping him to put him in better positions to succeed.
I'm a huge believer, and you know this, that coaching makes a huge difference. Coaching might be 75% of the game, to be honest, because you can take a coach and put him with okay players, and they can win a Super Bowl, like the Baltimore.
Yep.
Their quarterback was not very good, but the coaching of the team got them. They had a good defense, had good coaching, and then you can take a really good team and put a bad coach on it,
and it just falters.
And they fall all to pieces. So I think the Texans got a good coaching staff on here. There are a bunch of people that I haven't studied that much on, so I couldn't tell you much about them because they're young unknowns at this point. But I think they got a good staff coming up. But we'll see as time goes how strong the Texans really are. We had the Packers-Steelers.
How do the Steelers keep winning these ugly games?
I don't know. The Steelers may win the Super Bowl, dude. 23-19. And with no players and a horrible offense, because they just seem to they find a way to win. Of course, the Packers are terrible this year, though.
Yeah, but it's also the Tomlin way.
It's the Tomlin effect. Tomlin doesn't. He's had 0 losing seasons in the NFL.
No losing seasons.
I mean, how can you be a head coach for what he's been head coach now, 20-something years?
Approaching that.
And have 0 losing seasons.
0 losing seasons.
Yeah, he hasn't won a lot of Super Bowls lately, which Steelers fans are crying about. But they don't lose either.
They don't lose. Much.
So I don't know. But anyways, the Steelers won that 23-19. We had the Titans-Bucks, and the Titans are back on their
tanking.
Yeah, Levis come in for that one game and made everybody think, the coaches and fans think, hey, maybe this is it. No, it's not. No. 6 points. You scored 6 points.
That was very lethargic.
It's 6 points against the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers haven't been tearing it up this year. They're a decent team. I'm a huge Mayfield fan. Everybody knows I like Baker Mayfield. I think he was really done wrong up at the Browns, but the Buccaneers aren't barn burners, and the Titans just scored 6 points. So it's looking. Maybe they should have sold.
They should have
sold at the trade deadline and started from scratch. But I guess they had to see if Levis is going to be it. Let him do the rest of the year with a decent team and see if he wins. We had the Browns-Ravens. This was probably the best game to watch of the week. Man, 33-31.
And Deshaun Watson's last game of the season for the Browns because off the shoulder.
Deshaun Watson has looked terrible this year until the second half of this game. He had 2 quarters out of 10 games that he's looked good, and now he's injured and going to be out the rest of the year. He was 14-14 in the second half of this game.
The GM made a $250 million guaranteed flub.
That is the worst contract maybe in the history of sports.
Cut his contract at the end of the year and bring in...
How much of it is guaranteed? Was the whole thing guaranteed? Surely it wasn't the whole thing guaranteed, was it?
$250 million, all guaranteed.
Oh, man, that hurts. Oh, that is just terrible. But the Browns won 33-31. The Browns defense...
Let's be positive here.
The Browns defense
is helping them win a lot of games.
Myles Garrett may be Defensive Player of the Year-ish this point. I don't know if maybe J.J. Watt. Myles Garrett and J.J. Watt are winning their team some games because the offenses are not that good.
The offense, it's like a mirror image of the Steelers.
Yeah, the Browns and the Steelers in the same division, and they mirror each other quite a bit. But the Browns looked really good. We had the 49ers, Jaguars. 49ers had Deebo Samuel back. Guess what? They scored 34 points and won by 31. Deebo Samuel, they need to keep that man healthy. They need to put like 12 doctors around him and 5 coaches and follow him around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and keep that man healthy and on the field. Because they are the Super Bowl winning team with him, and they are 500 without him.
Yeah, that's he's a big piece of that team.
He is the team. It's of course, injuries. They just playing around. They did get some players back from injuries, so they did look really good in this game. And the Jaguars again. 1 week they're barn burners, and next week they're burnt. So we had the Saints Vikings, the feel good story of the year.
Joshua Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs,
leader of the Dobble.
Leader of the Dobble. He's doubling. He can make something out of nothing. That's what doubling is. When he was at Tennessee, we would say he's doubling because he could turn a play that was junk and turn it into something.
Hey, Butch.
Hey, Butch. But yeah, the Vikings 27-19. We thought the Vikings would win that because it's hard to have a game plan against somebody that you haven't seen that much. But he had 200 yards passing at halftime.
And then they could have gone for more if they had pushed the envelope a little bit more.
Yeah, they backed off a little bit at halftime and made the game more interesting. Derek Carr got a concussion.
He's had just a very unfortunate past 2 years.
He has, yeah. Jameis Winston come in and
threw a pick.
He doesn't care. He'll throw it. It don't matter. It don't matter. Just if you're almost open, he will throw the ball. Now, he'll score a lot of touchdowns that way, but he'll throw a lot of interceptions that way too. And he got 2 fantastic touchdowns, but then he threw 2 game-costing picks.
He was the number 1 pick in a draft several years ago.
Mm-hmm. Him and the crab legs that come with him. We had Falcons, Cardinals. Cardinals won that one in the return of Mr. Kyler Murray.
The Falcons lost
to Kyler Murray on his first game back from injury. I don't know. That was the Falcons looked good at the beginning of the season, and now they can't decide who they want to be quarterback.
They thought
if you have 2 quarterbacks, how many quarterbacks do you have?
0. You don't have a quarterback.
You don't have a quarterback. Either you've got a guaranteed starter or you have 0 quarterbacks. Lions, Chargers, that was a really good game too. Lions came back and won that one 41. We had a lot of games this week decided on the dojo of kicking.
The dojo of kicking field goals. We have had 5 senseis come out of the dojo.
There was 5 senseis this week. The Lions being one of them, they won 41-38. In just a thriller, fantastic game to watch. And then we had the Washington Commanders and the Seahawks. Another 3-point winner.
Yep, that's just very, very, very tight game.
That's a tight game. And then last we had the Jets Raiders. The Raiders got rid of
Josh McDerp,
and they've won every game since. We've talked for 2 years about how bad Josh McDaniels was as a coach, and
in fact,
they finally got rid of him.
For him.
Yeah, and he's gone. And the Raiders, I mean, it wasn't pretty. 16-12.
Well, are the Raiders historically a pretty team?
No.
They're ugly, smash mouth
football. Yeah,
that's what Raider football
and
is.
Their head coach
personifies
Pierce is a smash, but he was a smash mouth player. So I don't know. Right now, the Raiders are a feel good story. We'll sort of see how this goes, but it's good to see the Raiders winning. And then Monday Night Football, we had the end of Ken Dorsey. Broncos kick a field goal
and beat the Bills, who had 12 men on the field for the last kick.
That was one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. The Bills were up 22-21, and the Broncos came out, kicked a field goal, missed it.
But they got called for 12 men on the field.
Bills had 12 men on the field, and the Broncos got to re-kick 5 yards closer
and got it
and won. And then Mr. Ken Dorsey, we were giving Ken Dorsey the benefit of the doubt. All last year we gave him the benefit of the doubt.
He got worse this year.
The first couple games we gave him the benefit of the doubt. Two games ago we said that man's got to go. He's just not coaching this offense the way. There's too much talent, too many stars. And then after this game, surprisingly, they cut him loose. I didn't think they would.
Ken Dorsey's
quick.
gone.
Ken Dorsey is no longer. Now we have Mr.
Joe Brady is
Joe
going to try to
Brady.
fix the offense's problems. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
How do you think Joe Brady fixes
I don't know. There's talent there. It shouldn't be that hard. The first thing I would do is on 3rd and 3, don't throw a 15-yard pass. That might be the first thing I would change that Ken Dorsey used to do. But I don't know, there's so much talent at the Bills. I think it can be turned around, and I think it can be turned around quickly. The morale
of the team is down right
it's
now.
down right now. But if you came back and you win a couple games with the new OC, you can pick it right back up quick. So I still think the Bills are a good team, and I hope they turn it around because I think NFL's better when the Bills are better, All righty, let's jump into our Week 11 predictions. Thursday night, we got a really, really good one. We got the Bengals coming off of a loss at the Ravens.
Coming off a loss to
Coming
a
off
rival.
a loss to a rival. So this is a divisional game with both teams coming off of a loss. Ravens are favored by 3.5. I'm still taking Bengals.
I'm going to take Cincinnati. They're probably angry that they lost to Houston. at
Yeah,
home.
that honestly, they had won how many in a row? 3 or 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Maybe got a little bit out of focus. Losing a game like that you feel on the inside you should have won tends to refocus you sometimes, So I think that the Bengals probably refocus this week, and I actually think they not only pull that line, but I think they beat the Ravens. Jumping into our teams, they're playing each other.
Oh, great. My team has to face Dan Quinn.
Cowboys at the Panthers.
Have mercy.
we are actually going to that game in person just because it's our favorite teams playing each other. The Cowboys are favored by 10.5.
Take the line, please. Just put me out of my misery.
Now, the Cowboys play. The only thing I'm afraid of, what is the head coach of Dallas? What does he always do?
Play down to competition. I don't know
He
how you
plays
play
down.
down to this
He
level.
plays down to competition. So does he cover the 10-point line, or does he go out there and win 17-10? They scored 49 last week, so they're going to score 13 this week. That's the way their coaching does. They can't score 49 2 weeks in a row. It wouldn't be the Cowboy way right now. But I probably would take the Cowboys just because the Panthers are struggling and there's rumors of the head coach being in trouble. But
and my fan morale is down in the dumps right now.
yeah. But hey, there's only up to go.
I'm trying to find the way up. Can
Yeah,
you pick me a shovel?
Pick me a shovel. All right, we got some really good games this week. We got the Steelers at the Browns. Both of these teams, their defense finds a way to win. So
But
which one of these are going to win?
Who's going to out ugly the other?
Yeah, both of them are going to be ugly offense, but their defense is going to look fantastic. Who's going to win it? I'm going to probably pick Cleveland, but just because Cleveland's at home. That would be the only thing that's pushing me that way, though.
Well, yeah, because
The Steelers probably have more talent as far as the offensive side of the ball, although the Browns' running game is fantastic. It doesn't matter who they put in there. They got a good offensive line, and they got a good running back right now. So
I feel like the Browns, outside of the quarterback problems, are a very talented team, in my opinion. You see all the players that are making plays for them.
yeah,
And the Steelers, despite their offensive problems, are a very talented team.
this should be a fun game. It might be a low-scoring game. Now, just when you think you got a defensive matchup and it's going to be low-scoring, watch
probably gonna be a
watch it be
shootout.
49-42 or something. But I'm probably still taking the Browns. Cleveland's actually favored by 1, but so. We got the Cardinals at the Texans. I'll take the Texans.
Yeah, I don't think the
On that
Cardinals
one-
make it 2 games in a row with that roster.
No, I don't think the other two.
I don't think Houston will overlook them.
Kyler Murray is a pretty good quarterback. I don't know if he's a superstar quarterback, but he's a pretty good quarterback. But that's all they got. I don't know if there's anybody else on the team.
Yeah, there's not really much on that team.
Connor's pretty good, but
That's
other than that, there's not.
about
Yeah, that's about it. We got the Titans, Jaguars. Got to go Jaguars here too.
Yeah, it's in Jacksonville, so that's already bad for the Titans.
Yeah, the Jaguars coming off of a loss too at home, so
Fun
they
fact,
should cover the spread too.
the Titans have no wins on the road this season.
They've only got 3 wins at home.
Yeah,
3 and 6.
That's brilliant.
That is
Just
the end.
brilliant.
Yeah. Like was it like 4 years ago they were in the AFC Championship game? How the mighty have fallen. The GM and the head coach killed that. The GM mainly killed that back before. We got the Raiders at the Dolphins. This should be a fun game too.
The new identity with the Raiders, with the fast and quick moving Dolphins.
Yeah, the Raiders are feeling themselves right now. They've got to be,
Elated.
2 games in a row. They've smoked some cigars after it's over with. Just enjoying themselves.
Now they got to go to Miami
Now
Beach.
they go to Miami. Miami's favored by 13.5. I think that might be too much. I think the Raiders might cover. That's right. I still think the Dolphins should win this. But I don't know if it's going to be by 13.5. That's 2 touchdowns. Do you think they cover 2 touchdowns?
I think the Raiders should cover this. They're playing decently enough.
They're playing better. They're playing better ball right now.
Yeah, they're playing better football than they ever did. Let's be honest.
And the past 2 years, they're playing better ball than they have. Yeah, so I'd probably take the Raiders plus 13.5. That's a lot of points for a team that's actually feeling pretty good right now. Got the Bears, Lions. I've got the Lions here.
The line is 7.5 points. It should be larger.
It should be bigger than that. It should be a 10-point game. Yeah.
How about military man Dan?
I had my doubts about him when he first came in. I thought, man, it's a Sergeant Carter coming in here, shouting and screaming, and then all of a sudden they're winning. I'm like, okay.
Military Dan.
Military Dan. He is. He's actually a likable guy. And the team has rallied around him, so they're 7-2 and leading their division. So I'm definitely taking them there. We got Chargers, Packers.
This is a defining game for one individual in particular, more than most.
Yep, the head coach,
Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley, head coach of the Chargers.
He's not good at his job.
He has to win this game, dude.
Yeah, he has.
Even though it's at Green Bay, for his future.
And for the future of the Chargers.
With, again, probably the team that has the most talent, that is the most underachieving.
The Bolts.
The Chargers got to be up there close to the top.
They deserve better.
They're 4-5 with all that talent.
They deserve better at the head coaching spot.
Yeah.
Brandon Staley is a mediocre, at best, head coach.
Yeah, again, we gave him the benefit of the doubt his first couple of years too, but he's just not.
That playoff loss really completely turned me on him.
Yeah. And now they brought in new coaches, new people, and they're still 4-5
Notably,
this year.
one Kellen Moore.
Watch them fire Staley and give the head coach to Kellen Moore.
Oh, that would be
That's
something.
Another 5 years of chaos again. I don't know. But honestly, the Chargers should win that. They should win it. You would think talent-wise that they should win it. We got Giants, Commanders. The Giants are imploding right now. The Commanders aren't good, but
they're better than the Giants.
They're better than the Giants because the Giants don't have him right now. The starting quarterback's out. Your star running back's injured in and out. You can't throw the ball deep, so
you can't get your receivers the football at all.
No, so the Giants with all that promise, Washington's favored by 9. That's the only thing that scares me a little bit. Is Washington good enough to beat anybody by 9? Maybe the Giants.
Maybe the Giants. Yeah, let's take that.
We got the Buccaneers at the 49ers.
I think the pirate ship has sailed into a iceberg here.
I think the 49ers definitely win this. The line's 11.5 though. I don't know if I like that line. There's a lot of big lines this week. The Buccaneers again aren't a bad team,
but Todd Bowles is the main negative.
Todd Bowles is the main, and it is in San Francisco. And the 49ers did click last week. If Deebo Samuel stays healthy, they score 40. If he's hurt, they score 10.
Yeah.
So
that's a real huge difference.
With Deebo Samuel, I probably would take the 49ers. We got Jets, Bills. If the Bills don't win this one,
there is some. Sean McDermott might be in
huge
trouble.
They might take out the head coach after taking out the offensive coordinator. I do think the Bills win this. Again,
the Jets don't have an offense.
No, but their defense is really good. The Jets' defense
is really solid.
Really good.
Zach
But
Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett's offense is not doing good. Let
no,
me tell you how many touchdowns they've scored in 9 games.
how many have they scored?
8.
Ew.
They haven't even scored a touchdown in a football
Didn't
game.
CJ Stroud throw 5 in one game?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
about as half as many.
So the rookie quarterback of the Texans threw 5 in one game, and the Jets have 8 in the entire year so far.
I'm terribly sorry to our friend Al who has to witness the offense.
Yeah, but their defense is good, but man, their offense.
I hope the defense can find ways to win football games because the offense is clearly a handicap.
Yeah, we got the Seahawks Rams. This one is probably up for grabs, but I would probably take the Seahawks just because the Rams got a lot of injuries this year too.
Yep.
Seahawks are only favored by 1. It's at the Rams, but I still think the Seahawks have more talent. We got the Vikings Broncos Sunday Night Football. This should be a fantastic game. The Broncos are feeling themselves right now. They
They're
finally have
3-game
clicked.
wins,
They
3
won
straight wins.
They won 3 in a row, including beating the Bills last week in Buffalo.
That's going to make the Bronco fans feel better.
The Vikings have won 5 in a row now.
And Dobbs is going to be captain of the Norse.
And Dobbs is coming in with his magic touch. Denver's favored by 2.5. I'm still going Vikings because I
I'm
don't
going to
think
go with the Vikings.
I still don't think there's enough film on the new Vikings offense for someone to completely stop it yet. Because they, I don't know if the Vikings have even got a full offense installed yet for Dobbs yet. He's only been there 10 days or 2 weeks now.
Well, Justin Jefferson could come back at any time.
Man, imagine, okay, now you're going to get back the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL.
Imagine him throwing to Justin Jefferson and them double teaming.
The
him.
Vikings may make some noise at the end of the year that nobody was expecting. So we'll just sort of see how that goes. But I've got the Vikings plus 2.5. And then Monday Night Football, woo, Super Bowl rematch.
Eagles at the Chiefs.
Eagles at the Chiefs.
That is a good matchup.
That is a very good matchup.
Speaking of which,
Yeah. Bing, bing. We pulled that out right there at the end, didn't it? What a coincidence. I probably would, since it's in Arrowhead, I would probably go with the Chiefs.
yeah, the Chiefs, they're
Mainly
hard to
because of
beat
that.
at home.
Andy Reid finds a way to win at home. He is so hard to beat.
Arrowhead
In
is
Arrowhead.
a really, really tough
It's
place
one
to
of the
play.
the top 2 or 3 loudest stadiums whenever
They
the crowd
even
gets
break the
cooking.
Richter scale.
Yeah. So the Chiefs are favored by 2.5, and I'm probably pretty happy with that. Well, that's it. That is the NFL recap of Week 10 and some picks for Week 11. Hope you had a little fun with us again. Thanks again for Severe TV for setting us up here. Thanks for checking in. Be sure and check out Autographs Plus 2. Thanks to them for hooking us up with some helmets here too. And catch us next week for some more NFL football.
See you next week.